Hello everybody, I am Krishna Rao Patro, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering College, Hyderabad. Today, we will discuss about one important topic, that is Java tokens. For every programming language, there are set of tokens. Without token, you cannot write program. So, every language supports set of tokens. So, Java also supports set of tokens. Using token, you can construct a program. So, in definition, you can say token is the smallest individual unit. Token is the smallest individual unit through which you can develop the program. Every token will have some meaningful information to the compiler, because when the system is compiling, that time it will check what type of tokens you are using, and every token having special meaning. The token may be a keyword, the token may be an identifier, the token may be a literal, the token may be an operator, the token may be a separator, or token may be a comment. So, these are the different types of tokens you may use in the program. So, while writing program or while learning the language, you must and should learn the tokens of the programming language. Like C, C++, Java, Python, whatever the programming language you are learning, you must and should know the tokens. Once you know the token, then you can write the program easily. So remember, the tokens are, first one is keyword, next identifier, next literals, next operators, next separators, and next the comment. So once you know this token, you can construct a program easily. So I can say a token is a building block of a program. Token is the building block of a program. Now we'll go to the first token, that is your identifier. Identifier is used to define a variable, to define a method, to define a class, or to define one interface. So, whatever the names you are going to use, they are called identifier. So, when I say identifier, it may be a variable. Identifier means it can be a variable name is identifier, method name is identifier, class name is identifier, or interface name is identifier. Whatever the names you are using, those names are called identifier. Because using that name, you can identify the location in the memory. So while writing the identifier, you have to follow some set of guidelines. Actually, those rules are defined by Dennis Ritchie, and those rules also used by our James Gosling. Whatever the rules are specified to define the identifier, you must and should follow. If you are not following the rules of identifier, then the compiler will give error. So you must be very careful while writing the identifier. So when I say identifier, it can be a variable name, it can be a constant name, it can be a class name, it can be an interface name, it can be a method name, any name, whatever you are writing, then you must and should follow the rules. So there are 5 important rules are there. You can know those rules. An identifier must begin with a letter A to Z or underscore or a dollar sign. You can start the identifier name starting with either alphabet or underscore or a dollar sign also. These are allowed variables, means allowed characters in the identifier. Second, you cannot use Java reserved words or keywords as identifier. Actually, Java supports set of keywords or set of reserved words. Those reserved words you cannot use for identifier. Okay. Next, identifier cannot contain the special characters like @ symbol, hash symbol, percentage symbol. At the same time, the operators also, any operators, they are not allowed in the identifier. Okay, that means when you are writing a variable name, in the variable name you cannot write @ symbol, hash symbol, percentage symbol, or any operator symbols. Those are not allowed. At the same time, identifier cannot contain even space also. Space also not allowed. Next, identifier cannot start with digit also. It can have digit in the middle or last, but not at the beginning. So, if you know these 5 rules, then you can write the valid identifier. Okay. Most of the time, the students, they are making mistake while writing the variable name, because they are not following these guidelines. So, you must be careful whether you are following these 5 lines or means 5 rules or not. Once you follow these rules, then automatically those identifier will be valid one. So here you can see there are set of valid variables. My variable it is a valid one because start with the alphabet. So it is a valid one. Plus it consists of all characters only. That is valid. Means all alphabets. Next, calculate total. This is also valid variable. My class. This is also valid variable. That means these are all following these five lines. This first letter is upper, lowercase. Here first letter is uppercase. So uppercase or lowercase characters are allowed in identifier. Similarly, I may write, for example, x1. That is also valid. Similarly, I can write roll underscore number. That is also valid because underscore is also allowed. So these are the set of identifiers. These are valid one. And there are some invalid identifier also. Actually, these valid or invalid, how will you know? Because when you are compiling, the compiler will say whether it is valid or not. If it is valid, okay. If it is invalid, then the compiler will give error. Now, I cannot write 1, 2, 3 because starting with the digit. Digits are not allowed. So it is an invalid identifier. Next, to roll. It is starting with the digit, not allowed. Roll at the right number. At the right symbol is there. So it is also not allowed in the identifier. For example, I write x plus y. This is also not a valid identifier. This is also invalid identifier. Means variable name, not allowed. So while writing variable name or function name or a class name, you must follow these 5 guidelines. Once you follow, then that will be very okay. So you should not do mistakes while writing the identifier. Please be careful. Next, we will go for the keywords. Now, our Java supports set of keywords. Around now, we will be discussing about around 50 reserved keywords. Those keywords are specific keywords having special meaning for the compiler. You must be using these keywords for the special purpose only. Those keywords you should not use as an identifier. That means you cannot use a variable name or a function name or a method name or a class name. Those things mean these keywords are not allowed to write the identifier. So actually the number of keywords may be changing from version to version. So up to now the number of keywords are 50. Those 50 keywords you should be used carefully for the special purpose. There are some keywords related to data type. For example, byte. Byte is a keyword related to data type. Similarly, there is a keyword called double. That is also a keyword related to data type. Similarly, there is another keyword called float. There is also a keyword called float that is to represent float variable. Similarly, there is another keyword called int to specify it is a data type. Similarly, there is another keyword called short. These are the keywords related to data type. So that means in the 50 set, you will find set of keywords related to data type. Similarly, one more keyword related to data type. Now, byte, short. There is something called long also. So you can observe here long. Yeah, long also a keyword related to data type. So byte, short, int, long. Similarly, there is one more keyword called boolean. B. Yeah, this is the keyword related to data type. Similarly, there is one more keyword called char. Now, if you observe here, 4 plus 3, here 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the keywords related to data type. Like this, you will find set of keywords related to even control flow statement. The keywords related to control flow, like break is a keyword related to control flow. Similarly, continue is a keyword related to control flow. Similarly, there is a keyword called if, there is a keyword called else, keyword called for, keyword called while, and keyword called switch, keyword called case. So you will find set of keywords related to control flow, related to data type declaration, related to storage classes, related to protection like private, means protected, and public. These are the keywords. So these are the keywords to be used for specific purpose only. So here how many keywords are there? Totally 50 keywords are there. Those keywords are reserved words. You should not use for identifier. It should be used for the specific purpose. That means whenever you want to declare a data type, use the data type related keywords. Similarly, if you want to write your control flow statement, then you write the keywords related to control flow. Similarly, there are keywords related to class declaration. If you want to declare a class, so there is a keyword called class. So use that one. Similarly, there is a keyword related to define an interface. So for defining interface, there is a keyword called interface. Interface, yeah. Similarly to implement. So you'll find set of keywords. Those keywords should be used for the specific purpose only. So you must not forget how to use these keywords also. So when the next session comes, there I will tell you how you can use these keywords in the program. Because while writing program, you will be knowing how to use the keywords. Similarly, there are other keywords like exception handling. To handle the exception, there are set of keywords. Actually, there are 5 keywords are there. The first keyword is try. Try. There is another keyword called catch. Try, catch, then throw. T-H-R-O-W. Throw. Throws. As well as finally. Yeah. These are the 5 keywords related to exception handling. So you will find set of keywords, and as and when the program needs, you can use these keywords. Okay. So this is the second token. So I have told you the tokens like identifier, keywords. The next token is operator. So in your program, you may use set of operator also. These operators are generally useful while doing some operation on the operands. There are some operators related to arithmetic. Whenever you want to do any arithmetic operation, there you would use arithmetic operators like plus, minus, star, division, and modulus. So how many keywords are there? Sorry, how many operators are there? There are 5 operators related to arithmetic operation. So for every operation, you will find set of operators. And here you should know some operators are binary, some are unary, some are ternary also. So here all my arithmetic operators are binary. That means it depends on 2 operands. Of course, we will write a program also, but try to know what are the overall operators are there. Next, the next operator is relational operators. So whenever you want to compare the data, whenever the comparison comes, that time you would use relational operators. So how many relational operators are there? 1, 2, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, double equal to, and not equal to. Totally 6. So you can use 6 relational operator whenever you want to compare the data. If the data is less, use less than operator. If the data is more, check means use greater than operator. If the data is less than or equal to, then use less than equal to. If you want to compare whether both are exactly equal or not, then you can use equal to operator. That means double equal to. If you want to check whether both are not equal, then you can use not equal to. So like this, there are 6 relational operators are there. So you can use this relational operator whenever you want to compare the data. Then we'll go for the next one, that is logical operator. There are 3 logical operators. The first one is and, second one is or, third one is not. So remember, and is represented by double ampersand symbol. Next is or is represented by double pipe. Then last is not is represented by exclamatory symbol. Okay, these are the set of operators. So these logical operators also you can use in the program whenever you want to combine the multiple expression into a single one. Whenever you want to take a decision by combining multiple conditions together, that time you can use logical operators. So how many logical operators are there? Answer is 3. There are 3 logical operators. Because sometime in exam, they may ask a question, how many logical operators supported by Java? Then your answer is supposed to be 3. And out of 3 logical operators, how many are unary and how many are binary? Unary means which takes single operand. Binary means which takes 2 operands. So here, not is unary. It depends on single operand. Whereas and or takes 2 operands. That's why they are binary operators. Fine. Anyway, we'll use these operators in the program. So try to know what are the operators are there. Next one is assignment operators. This is the one generally to assign the value. If you want to assign value, you can use assignment operators. So one of the simple assignment is a simple equal to, that is assignment operator. There are some compound assignment, plus equal to, minus equal to, star equal to, modulus equal to, and division equal to, XOR equal to, and equal to, or equal to, left shift, right shift, and unsigned right shift equal to. So they are all set of assignment operators, and all assignment operators are binary. So here, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 are there. So we'll find 12 a plus 1, 13. There are 13 different types of assignment operators are there. Similarly, bitwise. Bitwise means which will be operating at bit level. If you want to operate the data at bit level, that means if you want to do some image processing or network programming, that time your program completely relying on bitwise operators. There are 7 bitwise operators are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These bitwise operators also you can use in a program. Next one is conditional operator, which is a ternary operator. Ternary operator, which depends on 3 operands. This is a special operator, which is behaving like if-else statement. Behaving like if-else statement. Okay. So whenever you want to use the condition without using if-else, that time you can use conditional operator, which is relying on 3 operands. Next one is increment and decrement operators, which is a special operator, which is depends on single operand, which is allowed to increase or decrease the value. That time you can use either increment or decrement operators. Similarly, instance operator, and you can check whether the whether the object is a particular group of the class or not. That time you can use instance operators. So Java supports all different types of operators. So this operator also one type of token. Okay, operator also one type of token. So now we'll go to the next token, that is literals. Literals means the constants. That means how many different type of constants are there in Java. You can know here. So there are different types of constants. Integer literals, floating point literals, character literals, string literals, boolean literals, and null value also. So they are the different types of constant you can use in the program. When I say literal means a constant value which will never change. That is called constant. So in Java, there are different types of constants you can use in a program. Now, for example, I may say A in a single quote, then automatically I will say it is a character literal. Same A, if I write within double quote, that is string literal. Similarly, assume for example 7. 7 is integer literal. If I write 7L, that is long integer literal. Similarly, 2.3F, that is a floating point literal. Similarly, if I write 2.3, that is a double literal. Similarly, I will say true, it is a boolean literal. So your program may use any kind of literals in the program. That means whenever you need a constant value, you can use this type of literals. So Java supports these 6 varieties of literals. Next, separators. So separator also one type of token. So in a program, you may use multiple separator to separate the data. While writing program, you may need how to separate from one statement to another statement, or while writing expression, how to separate between the different commands or different operands. So that time you can use the different type of separators also. Separators are the characters used to separate the tokens in the Java code. So because I told you program is collection of tokens, but in between the token, sometime you may need separators. Those separators you can list out here. First one is semicolon. Semicolon is a special type of literal, generally that to be used at the end of the statement. Similarly, comma. Comma used to separate the items in the list, or whenever you are declaring multiple variables must be separated with comma. So comma also one type of separator. So the program may use multiple separators for different purpose. Similarly, you may use parentheses also to group the expression. So parentheses also one type of separator. Or you may use braces also to define the code blocks, because whenever you are writing a function or whenever you are writing a block of statement in a loop, that time there also you may use curly braces. Those curly braces also one type of separators. Similarly, you may use square bracket. Generally, square brackets are useful for the array. Whenever you want to define set of items, that time you have to define an array. For array, you have to use the square bracket. So the square bracket also one type of separators. Similarly, dot, that is the member access, that is also one type of separators to separate between the object name and method name, or object name and attribute name. That time you use dot operator. So the dot operator also one type of separator. So that means your program may use multiple type of token. The next token, comment. The program may use comments also. Java supports 3 types of comment. How many types? 3 types. Generally, comments are used in the program to explain something, to say something. That means to make the documentation to be strong, you have to use comment. So comments are used to add explanatory notes and documentation to the code and not processed by the compiler. That means what? Comments will not be executed by the compiler. Comments will not be verified by the compiler. Comments only for the programmer. So you can use 3 types of comment in the Java program. Single line comment by using double slash, or you can use multi-line comment by using slash with star and ends with star with slash. So inside that you can write like this: statement 1, statement 2, like this, multiple statements. So inside that you can write multi-line statements. So those statements will not be compiled, will not be checked by the compiler. See, whatever the statement you are writing inside the comment, that is only meant for the programmer, because you want to say something, what logic you are writing. For that purpose only you are using comments. Comments are not meant for the compiler. So documentation, you can write separate the statement for your program. You can write neatly the notes for every method, the logic behind the code. You can write in the documentation comment. So generally when you write documentation comment, this documentation comment will be used by a separate tool called Java Doc. The Java Doc will extract the data from the documentation part, documentation comment part. Okay. So I think I told you yesterday in the previous session, when you are installing Java, it is installing JDK along with its separate tools. One of the tool is Java Doc. Generally, this tool is useful to create the document for the program to the software. Okay, so if you use Java Doc, automatically it will give the documentation regarding the software. Whatever the comment you written inside the documentation comment, that will be extracted by the Java Doc. Okay, next. So here I'll give a simple program. There you have to find out what are the tokens are there. So I told you every program is a collection of tokens. There is no program without token. Everything is a token. The token may be identifier, token may be a keyword, token may be an operator, token may be a constant, one literal, token may be a or comment statement. Okay, so you can use various types of tokens. Now see public. Public is also token. That means what? It is comes under keyword token. Similarly class. Class also a token. Comes under keyword token. Token example, this comes under your identifier. So this is also a token. So everything is a token. Similarly public. Public also a token. Means keyword token. Static token, keyword. Void, keyword. Main is a what? Method name. Method name comes under your identifier. So remember, when I say identifier may be a variable, maybe a class name, maybe a function name. These are all one type of identifiers. So your program may use multiple tokens of different types. Similarly, string. String is a class name. So this is also one token. This square bracket, open square bracket, those are separators. That is also one type of token. Args. Args is what? Name of the array. So the name of the array is also one type of variable. So this is also one type of token. Open parentheses and close parentheses. These are all separators. So this is also one type of token. So that means your program uses multiple tokens. So this program having lot of tokens. Int is a token. Int is what? Also keyword token. X is identifier. Equal to is operator. 5 is string literal. Sorry, integer literal. So that means you are using various types of tokens. Similarly, comment statement. This entire thing is a token. Comment. That is a token. Similarly, string. String is class name. That is also token. MSG. MSG is what? Identifier. That is also token. Hello world, which is written within double quote. That is a string literal. So that is also token. Semicolon is there. Semicolon is what? It is a separator. That is also token. Then next to there is a what? Comment statement. That is also token. Similarly, if is a token. Open parenthesis. That is also token. X is a token. The greater than symbol. That means the operator. That is also token. 0. 0 is a token. Constant. Integer constant. That means integer literal. Close parenthesis. That is a separator token. So you are using various types of tokens. So if you observe here this program having set of tokens of different categories. These tokens are passed and processed by the Java compiler during the compilation process. So in a simple way, I can say every program is a collection of token. Every program is collection of token. Collection of tokens. In a simple form, they may ask, how will you define a token? Sorry, how will you define a program? Then you can say also, program is a collection of tokens. Fine. Next, you have used multiple operators. Every operator having its own precedency and every operator having its own priority also. So, if you see these operators and their parentheses, did you observe here? Parentheses having highest priority. Then unary, post increment and decrement, they are having next. Then plus plus, then minus minus plus. They are all comes on next. Right. At the same time, associativity is given right side. So some are left to right, some are right to left. So some operators having associativity left to right and some are having right to left. Fine. So if you observe here, that is given the name of the operator followed by its priority and followed by its associativity. So once you know this table, then you can write the program easily. You can compute the output also easily. Okay. Next. Now we'll see one more important concept, data types. Because when you write a program, the program uses various types of data types. Without data type, you cannot write a program because you have to store data. So the data belongs to what type? So every programming language supports two data type. One is primitive data type, second is non-primitive data type. Primitive data type means generally the system supports directly. That is called system supported data type or also called built-in data types like boolean, char, byte, short, int, long, float, double. They are all primitive data types. That means built-in data types. Non-primitive means which is not available in the system directly, that you have to create. This is also known as user-defined data types. User-defined data types. You can define your own data types. Now, if you observe here, data types, again, two types. One is primitive, second one is non-primitive. Under primitive, some are numeric, some are non-numeric. I think I told you there are 8 primitive data types. Out of 8, byte, short, int, long. These 4 comes under integer type data type. Then double and float. These 2 comes under floating point data type. So that means under numeric, you will find 4 plus 2, 6. 6 data type comes under numeric category. There are 2 more non-numeric. One is character, second one is boolean. So totally how much? 6 plus 2, 8. So sometimes they may ask a question in exam, how many primitive data type supported by Java? Then your answer is supposed to be Java supports 8 primitive data type. How many? 8 primitive data types. Is it clear? Next, non-primitive. Non-primitive means what? Which is not available in the system. The programmer has to define, the user has to write. So user-defined data type. You can create your own data type also using class concept. You can define a class, or you can define interface. Using interface also you can write, or you can define your own array, or you can define your own string. So with the help of this concept, a non-primitive data types can be created. So how many non-primitive? This is infinity, because there is no limit. You can create any number of data types also. And there is also one more categories. Data types. One is primitive type, second one is non-primitive. Under primitive, boolean, character, float, double, byte, short, int, long. So under integer 4, please remember, under integer 4, under floating point 2, under character 1, under boolean, totally how many? Totally 8. Under non-primitive, there is no limit, infinity. You can create your own, any number. Array, strings, classes, interfaces, enumerators, you can create your own objects. They are all comes under non-primitive data types. This is also called reference data type, or also known as abstract data type. This also known as abstract data type, or user-defined data types. Okay. Then we'll see what are the different default values for each data type. Because when you declare the data type in your program, especially as a member variable in the program, for every variable of its own type having default value. If it is a boolean variable declared as a member variable in a class, then the default value is always false. Default value is always false. For character data type, the default value is a 0 for null character. For byte, the default value is 0. For short, that means when you declare a variable, automatically the system will take for byte 0. For short also 0. For integer also 0. For long also 0L. So remember, for long data type, you should write 0L. L stands for long data type. Similarly for float, 0.0F. 0.0F. Okay. For double, 0.0. If you write 0.0, that is a double. If you write 0.0F, that is float. So these are all the default value of different data types in Java. And how much memory required? Because for every data type, internally it requires memory also. Boolean requires 1 bit of memory. Character requires 2 bytes. Remember, Java uses Unicode character. Java uses Unicode character. That means universal code. Actually, there are one more important coding standard, that is ASCII code. Actually, our C++ uses ASCII code, whereas Java uses Unicode. This Unicode, which supports entire universe character. In the entire universe, you will find many alphabets. English alphabet, Telugu alphabet, Hindi alphabet, Oriya alphabet, Bengali alphabet, Chinese alphabet, Taiwan alphabet, whatever the alphabets are there of different languages, different states, different countries, everything supported by Unicode. That's why this Unicode requires 2 bytes of memory, which will support up to 65,536 varieties of alphabets. This many alphabets supported by the Unicode. Fine. Byte requires 1 byte memory, short requires 2 bytes memory, integer requires 4 bytes memory, and long requires 8 bytes of memory, float requires 4 bytes of memory, double requires 8 bytes of memory. So, based upon the requirement, you can use the corresponding data type. So, internally, that will allocate that much memory. So, as a programmer, you must and should know which data type I should use for my program. Because the program should be written in such a way that it must be memory efficient also. It should not consume unnecessary memory. Based upon the necessity, you have to use the corresponding variable of data type. So, the data type will allow you to store that kind of data. Based upon the data type, the memory requirement also changes. Fine. Next, we'll write a simple program how to use the different types of operators. One of the interesting operator is unary operator. The unary operator may be a increment or maybe a decrement. Increment represented by plus plus symbol and decrement represented by minus minus symbol. Fine. This plus plus can be used for two purposes, post increment and pre increment. Similarly, decrement can be also used for post decrement and pre decrement. So based on that one, we will write a small program. Assume I have written a small program using Java. If you want to write a Java program, first write the class followed by the name of the class name, because every class must have a name. This is your name of the class. Operator example. Then public static void main. This is the driver part of the program, means the starting point. Every Java program will have this syntax, because when you want to write a main method, you have to write public static void main string arguments array. I think in the previous slide already I have told you how to write a Java program. Fine. Now here in this program I have used x is how much? 10. System.out.println x plus plus. So how much it will print? Because it comes under post increment. Post increment says first to print. So how much it will print? It will print 10 first. Then later increment the value. After printing 10, then that x become, after printing, then x become 11. Because it is a post increment. Fine. Next, system.out.println plus plus x. That means what? It is pre-increment. Pre-increment says you increase the value and then print. Already in the previous statement, the value of x is how much? 11. So here, plus plus x means first increment then print. So 11 if you increment, then that become 12. That become 12. Then come to this statement. When you come to third statement, because these are all interlinked, okay, the previous value will carry forward. Then x minus minus. X minus minus what? It is a post decrement. So post decrement says first you print, then decrease. So first I will print 12. After printing 12, then the value of x become decreased to 11. After printing, then the value is decreased to 11. Then come to fourth statement. In fourth statement, minus minus x. Minus minus x means pre-decrement. Pre-decrement says you decrease the value then print. So when you come to fourth statement, by that time what is the value of x? That is 11. So 11 if you decrease, that become 10. So print. So this fourth statement will give these four different answers. 10, 12, 12, 10. Okay. So this is a simple example of operator. So in the coming days, you will use various types of program with a different set of operators also. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.